Welcome back to the program. I'm going to cover something right now tonight that I can guarantee you nobody in the media has picked up on. Not even one person. Not even the person that should have picked up on it, which is Jesse Waters from Fox News. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the fact that political strategist for the Democrats, James Carville, literally called for the assassination of President Trump live on television. That's right, you heard that correctly. Now, I'm going to play you 18 seconds, and I'll probably play it a few times because I want you to hear it. And then we're going to discuss whether or not you think, as I do, that he was referring directly to President Trump. Okay? Listen to this.
Whatever. I'm going to quote the great, we don't know history.
Listen.
Do we wait until he's Hitler?
Let me stop it right there. Do we wait until he's Hitler? Okay? Do we wait until he's Hitler is the first thing James Carville says. Listen closely.
We don't know history. Do we wait until he's Hitler? At what point do you say this guy is a threat to whatever? I'm going to quote the great Barney Fife. Nip it in the bud. That's what I say. Nip it in the bud. We don't know history. Do we wait until he's Hitler? At what point do you say this guy is a threat to whatever? I'm going to quote the great Barney Fife. Nip it in the bud. That's what I say. Nip it in the bud.
I don't know about you, but nip it in the bud, to me, after referring to President Trump as Adolf Hitler, certainly sounds like an assassination attempt. Okay? That's what it sounds like. It sounds like an assassination threat, is what I meant to say. So, I went on X, and I told at DOJ, at FBI, at Secret Service, perhaps they should listen to this. But the shocking part is that when Jesse Waters was covering this and covering what he said, completely ignored it. Like it didn't even exist. Couldn't hear it. Didn't hear it. Didn't want to hear it. Didn't want to acknowledge it. I don't know. As soon as I heard it, I told my wife, I said, whoa, back that up. So we backed it up and I listened closely. And I said to her, you know, that sounds like an assassination threat. Does it not? And we listened to it 2 or 3 more times. And clearly he says, he refers to him as Hitler. And then he says, should we wait until he becomes Hitler? And then what? Nip it in the bud. That's what this sick lizard man says. Okay? Now, if you look at the definition in political context, nip it in the bud means to take action early to prevent a situation or problem from escalating or becoming a larger issue. Well, I don't know about you, but nip it in the bud and then referring to President Trump as Hitler is an assassination threat. And I do hope that the Secret Service, the FBI, and the Department of Justice look into it a little bit further. I couldn't believe it when I heard that. Now, the other thing I want to talk about is this. So far, you had Van Halen, right, going to El Salvador. And then you have these other 4 Congress members going there. Now I hear, right now as we speak, they are already on board 3 other members of the House. So now you're talking, how many is that now? That's 7, that's a total of 8. Well, I don't know about you, but with 8 members, or 7 members in this case of the House, and 1 of the Senate, but 7 members of the House, not in Washington? Don't you think maybe Big Johnson should call an immediate session for Congress and have the Republicans come racing back so that we have a bigger majority and pass, oh, gee, I don't know, maybe the SAVE Act and the No Rogue Rulings Act while these idiots are hanging out in El Salvador trying to date this, kill more. And by the way, they use the word, imagine that. They stand behind a guy whose name starts with kill. Real smart. Kill more burritos Garcia, as I like to call him. We could get so much done in the House right now if they had the testicular fortitude to do an emergency session, call all the Republicans back, vote on these bills right now, and go, hey, sorry, Dems, you weren't there. You don't have the votes anymore. That's the type of guerrilla warfare that if I was House Speaker or an advisor to President Trump, I'd be telling him that we need to do. But hey, I'm not. So anyway, wanted to point that out. Now, speaking of their favorite criminal, right? Clearly a criminal here. So let's talk about a couple things with this guy, all right? So first off, we already know that he's a verified member of MS-13. He literally has not only been accused of and through, orders of protection and everything else and documentation that he's an abuser of women, a wife beater and everything else, but he's also a human trafficker, okay? There's no question about it. He is a human trafficker. And not only is he a human trafficker, but when he was stopped by the Tennessee State Police, he was in a car of a convicted, that's right, a convicted human trafficker. Listen to this. Kilmore Abrego Garcia, or Kilmore Burritos Garcia, transported fellow illegal aliens in a Dodge Grand Caravan owned by an illegal migrant that was previously convicted of human trafficking. This is your wonderful Maryland man. More damning information has emerged regarding the Democrats' most beloved Maryland man. The Tennessee State Patrol broke an explosive story last week revealing that MS-13 gang member Kilmore Burritos Garcia was he was stopped, accused of engaging in human trafficking by the Tennessee Highway Patrol, and this was back in December of 2022. He was detained by an officer, and at that point, the officer then figured out that he was not driving on a valid driver's license. He was detained. They then contacted the President Auto Penn's FBI, and of course the President Auto Penn's FBI said, let him go. What do we care if he's a MS-13 gang member who's going to go out and rape and murder and kill Americans? Collateral damage. We need the votes. Unreal. So the Tennessee Star reported that Garcia was driving a vehicle registered to Jose Ramon Hernandez Reyes, a convicted human trafficker. Reyes previously pleaded guilty to conspiring to transport illegal aliens from across the country and was convicted of it in 2020. Then it says he was in prison for 18 months, but then remanded to the custody of U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. As part of his release, he was barred from entering America ever again. Hernandez, convicted in 2020, pled guilty to smuggling fellow illegal immigrants. He was charging them, this is a traffic stop in Mississippi, he was charging them $350 a person to sit in this Dodge Grand Caravan. And they brought them across the border. Further revealed, Reyes was traveling with 8 people in the vehicle, the same exact number, by the way, as Garcia, and that he advertised the business on a local newspaper and even social media. Wow. Wow, you know you have no ICE, no DHS, no Border Patrol, no nothing, when you can literally advertise, hey, you need a ride into America? I'm your coyote. Police said it cost $350 per person to secure a seat in the Dodge Grand Caravan. That was the one that he was caught in as well. So imagine that. There's your choir boy, okay? Your choir boy from Maryland. Oh, it gets worse. All you got to do is a little tiny bit of sleuthing on the internet, and guess what? You can find the Prince George's County Police Department gang field interview sheet from March 29th, 2019, which reads from the gang unit itself, on 3/29/2019 at or approximately 14:27 hours, Detective, and it's of course retracted, with the Hyattsville City Police observed 4 individuals loitering in a parking lot of a Home Depot located at 3301 East-West Highway in Hyattsville, Maryland. Detective blank approached the individuals. 2 of the individuals reached into their waistbands and discarded several unknown items under a parked vehicle. All 4 individuals were stopped by the Hyattsville officer. Detective blank immediately recognized one of them, Hernandez Romero, aka Bimbo, as a member of the MS-13 Sailors Clique. 2 small plastic bottles containing marijuana were located on the scene. All 4 individuals were transported back to District 1 for interviews. Members of the Prince George's County Gang Unit, MS-13 Intelligence Squad, have encountered Hernandez Romero on multiple occasions. He has an extensive criminal history and record of multiple assaults, concealing dangerous weapons, burglary, and many other criminal offenses. He has also been found guilty of gang participation in the Circuit Court for Prince George's County in December of 2018. Officers know Hernandez Romero to be an active MS-13 gang member with the Sailors Clique with the rank of Observacion and moniker of Bimbo. However, officers then interviewed the 3rd suspect along with the others, Jose Guillermo Dominguez, and of course Hernandez Romero, and then somebody by the name of Kilmar Armando Abrego Garcia, another gang member from MS-13. He was observed wearing his Chicago Bulls hat and hoodie with rolls of money covering the eyes, the ears, and the mouth of the presidents on separate denominations. Officers now know that such clothing to be indicative of the Hispanic gang culture. The meaning of the clothing is to represent, it's something in Spanish, but then it says, see no evil, hear no evil, and say no evil. Wearing the Chicago Bulls hat represents that they are a member in good standing with the MS-13 gang. Officers contacted a past proven and reliable source of information who advised Kilmar Armando Abrego Garcia is an active member of MS-13 with the Westerns Clique. The confidential source further advised that he is in the rank of Chaqueo with the moniker of Chele. So there you have it. That's from the Prince George's County Police Department gang field interview and arrest sheets. Okay? So these idiots in Congress are going to El Salvador and just, I don't get it. I don't get it. It doesn't, 90-10, it's not even an 80-20. It's a 90, shit, it might be a 95-5. I mean, they did street interviews of people in Maryland, okay? Mostly in the inner city. And they were telling them what's going on. They were like, hell yeah, get him out, get him out, get him out, get him out. This is like literally like a 95-5 issue, okay? I don't understand it. It doesn't make any sense to me, okay? It really doesn't. But you know what? This is the hill they've decided to die on for whatever reason. I don't exactly know. But what I do know is that at this point right now, President Trump is getting ready to put, okay, a gigantic 100-foot tall American flag on the premise of the White House. As a matter of fact, I believe he's putting 2 of them up. President Trump surveys White House lawn to install 100-foot flagpoles. It's going to be 2 beautiful flags. I wanted to end with this because it's pretty cool. President Trump was spotted on the White House North Lawn this morning, scouting out a location for a new flagpole to hang the American flag 100 feet high in the air. Surprisingly, there is not an American flag on either side of the White House, but that's about to change. They've needed flagpoles for 200 years, President Trump added. President Trump was spotted this morning on the White House. They always repeat that. A beautiful flagpole for the American flag. We never had a flagpole. One here, one on the other side too, he told reporters. Another shot shows the president on the lawn, waving to the press, but not taking any questions. The president then held a press gaggle and announced his intention to install beautiful, almost 100-foot tall American flags on both sides, the north and south lawns. That, to me, is just awesome. And here is, hopefully there's not going to be, it's a Rumble link, so there could be, well, let me mute it real quick. Let's see, is there going to be a commercial first? Yep, always. Give me 1 second here. So here's Trump. Usually it's 2 ads. Yep. Here we go. Right here.
Putting up a beautiful, almost 100-foot tall American flag on this side and another one on the other side, 2 flags, top of the line. And they've needed flagpoles for 200 years. It was something I've often said, you know, they don't have a flagpole per se. So we're putting one right where you saw us, and we're putting another one on the other side on top of the mounds. It's going to be 2 beautiful poles.
Mr. President.
How awesome is that, huh? And I can guarantee you one thing. They ain't going to be made in China. That's right. Those are my thoughts. What are yours? Put them down in the comments below. We'll see you in the next one.